today we will see, this is actually from the AWS. Today we'll see now on the Azure side how we can do with the Azure, because almost a similar process. You'll see. So it's better to go through that so you'll get an idea about how the cloud
Sure.
we can integrate. Yeah. So on the Azure one, today we'll see now about like how we can integrate with the Azure system. For example, let's see now how we can load our data from the ADLS to Snowflake storage. So we'll see this. As part of this process, what I
Okay.
will do is now I'm going to take the ADLS storage. Suppose let me take ADLS or Azure.
So ADLS means Azure
Yeah, Azure
cloud
storage, Azure
Azure
Data Lake
storage,
storage. Yeah.
data lake storage.
There is a storage symbol for ADLS. We can take it. Yeah, I think here. Yeah, Data Lake storage. So for AWS, we have S3 storage, right? The same way for Azure, we have a storage ADLS. Just like Azure Data Lake storage, like we have. Um, Now we are taking this. So in this data lake storage, so basically, the process is like this. Like in AWS, we call the bucket, right?
Okay.
But
Yes.
in the Azure, in the ADLS storage, we call the containers as part of the storage account. So if you take the storage account, one storage account, internally, we can create as the containers. So container is nothing but we're going to store actual the files into storage. Let me just take containers. You can take it as a container process. Container, yeah. So it's a container. It's not a container registers actually. So just you can call container. So this is the container, like here where we are going to upload your files. That's suppose if say you have a file, you want to upload the file to storage, the cloud storage, and then you can integrate from ADLS to the Snowflake. So on this, the file, any file like CSV or anything, for example, I'm taking a suppose CSV file, let's say, or JSON, anything. Suppose there is a file in my local system. I'll call my local system as, let me call on-prem. So this on-prem file, I want to load to first into the container. The container is in the storage account and is part of this ADLS.
Oh,
So from here, I want to give the access to the Snowflake. So Snowflake side. Suppose I'm taking the Snowflake. In the Snowflake, again, we have the database. So previously we discussed DS3 to Snowflake. Here I can just use this one. We can just create a Snowflake database, suppose. So from this container, I want to load to this database. That is what the requirement is. This is the requirement. So now let's see how we can load the data into this process. So as part of this process, like if you see in our previously we discussed about the S3 to the Snowflake, and the same way now we are going to go into this process. It's almost a similar process, but we have we will see the steps and everything. So there are some now this is nothing but we are connecting the two systems, one the Azure storage and one on the Snowflake side. So when we're creating the both sides, need to make sure that some steps to create on the both sides. For example, on the Snowflake side, so now we are going to create database and we are going to create tables.
Okay.
Okay. And from the ADLS side, we're going to create a storage account. From the ADLS side, we're going to create the storage account. And next, we're going to create a container where we load our data into the container. So these two will be created on the ADLS side. And from the Snowflake side, we have this. Once you create these two, and there is a intermediate steps, like when you do this migration. Now, what we are doing a data migration. So what is a data migration process? So as part of this data migration process, so we need to create a integration pointer that contains the access information. Like we need to create a storage integration in the Snowflake side. We need to create a storage integration. As part of this storage integration, we will give you what is the source details, what is the Azure tenants, and what is the location of the Azure storage, what is the container. We're going to give all these things. And
Okay.
once you create your storage account, storage integration, and the next thing is we need to create the file formats. What is the file formats? And nothing but the next one is what is the stage. Need to create a stage. Let's create a stage. The stage is nothing but we are actually we are creating a stage in the Snowflake side, and on the stage we give the location of the source as well as what is the integration we have created in the Snowflake. That's what we do. Once your integration stage once is created, and the next step is as we're already creating the table here on here. The next step is we can directly start to copy load into the table. So there are so many ways we can migrate the data. I think previously we discussed the migration using a SnowPy, the process. Now we are looking into the process of copy into. And here we can different ways of integration, like how can connect using the ETL tools in between. For example, Azure Data Factory, or there are some ETL tools we can use it. That is also you can use, or the other way is we can use the Snowpipe connectivity. We can use for the real-time ingestion as well. This is a different step. We will see different scenarios in the next workshops or meetings. So today we are going to see this process, how we can copy loading data from the Azure, like the same way how we did for the AWS side.
Okay.
Okay, let's create this all these steps, and then we will load the data. So the first thing is now I'm going to go to the Azure login. I'll make sure that everything's ready on the Azure side. Okay, this is my Azure storage, my Azure account. So you can go to the storage accounts. I don't have any storage accounts, it's new. So let's create a storage account. Subscription, this one. Okay, resource group we don't have. So resource group is the group where we can uh, all the resources, whatever we create, it will link up. But I'm going to create now resource group. For example, I'll call uh, resource group. Let's say RG group version 6, suppose some name. Storage account name. Let me call Snowflake. Snowflake source data. Suppose. Let me call version 1. And this name is a must be unique always
Okay.
across all the storage accounts. So
Okay.
if it is already available somewhere, it will throw the error. So right now, that's why I put the version 1 with the name. So for example, if I try this Snowflake source data, suppose see Snowflake source, it's saying the storage account name already taken.
Still then.
Globally, it has to be unique globally. Hmm.
Okay.
So Snowflake source data, I'll take version. Okay, and I'm going to take the redundancy with the low cost, locally redundant storage. This could be low cost option, so it should be fine. Now I'm going to create the storage account. So by this way, we can create a storage accounts. So this deployment is in progress. And once this is ready, yes, this is ready. Resource group is created and the deployment also created, which means the storage account is ready to use. Let's go to resource and you can see the storage account is this one, Snowflake source data v1 version 1. So this is storage account. If you go to the your actual storage accounts, you can see all the list actually here. So you see one is created just now.
Okay.
And in the storage account, if you go to this container, so as we discussed in the diagram, in the storage account, we're going to create a container. So like the same way in AWS we discussed, in the bucket, we create a folder, right? Same way here in the storage account, we're creating containers. So I'm going to create the container. For example, let me call source data, suppose. Yeah, take lower cases. Okay, right. I'm going to create a container. Yes, the container is created. Uh, let me.
We get a free account for AWS and like for Azure, like AWS.
Um, yes, you get, but it depends. I mean, normally they'll give $200 free access. Um,
Okay.
but they'll charge depend upon service actually. For storage
Oh,
account, these things are fine. But if you
oh,
take
this.
other services, they'll charge. Um, so basically, uh, for example, in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, they'll say initially it's a free, but it totally depends upon what service you are using. That's why I recommended to put the budget when you create an account, put the budget limitation.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So if you want for the practice, I can give you my or I can make one user, I can give you, no problem. But
Okay.
for you need to make sure the budget things. For example, if we take this budget, I put the some limits, suppose 10 pounds or something. I put the limits because previously what happened is I've granted this to some students and they used routed app. I got $250 bill. So unexpectedly, I didn't put that budget that time. It's my mistake actually. So but you can put the budget and then
Okay.
uh, you can use that actually.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we are in the containers, source data. Okay, this is storage account, and we have this container. And here I'm going to now load the data. So let me just 1 second. Okay, now I'm going to upload the data. So I'm going to upload the data. So this file, I'm just dragging and dropping here. The CSV file, upload. Okay, the file is uploaded into the storage account, into the container, nothing but in the storage account, in the container, we have this file. Okay, bye-bye. So on the source side, we are ready. The storage account ready, container ready. That's fine. And the next step is now we're going to create on the right side, the Snowflake side, and then we will start creating the storage integrations and everything on the Snowflake side. So now I'm going with the Snowflake. Even the Snowflake, as I said, it's a 1 month trial version free, and they'll give $400 limit. So you can use this for your practice.
Okay.
Sign in. So now I'm going to create the last session we discussed this Snowflake source schema. Okay, fine. Let me. Okay, so I'm going to create database. Mm, suppose let's say let me call suppose source underscore mm, test underscore db. Suppose.
Okay.
So see automatically test db connected and then public. Fine. Now I'm going to create. What is the first step we discussed here? The storage integration. Okay. So I'm going to create storage integration. Suppose I'm just creating ADLS, some name, suppose Azure storage integration. Integration. So type equal to, suppose I'm just taking the external stage and storage provider equal to Azure.
Okay. Okay.
Able to true. And who, let me give 10. So if you go to the Azure again, Microsoft Azure, and if you give the tenant properties, you will get the details. So you can just copy this. This is must be secured tenant ID.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving here tenant copy paste. And what is the location you want to allow? Storage allowed locations. So here we need to give the location of your storage container. So starts with the Azure /, and what is your storage account? Okay, here my storage account is Snowflake source data v1. I can give this storage account. So Azure / your storage account and dot your blob storage core Windows dot net, the path of the URL path in this storage account. What is the container name? Container name is this one, source data. Okay, I just copy paste my container. So this is my storage account. So if you see, I'm connecting from this Snowflake. From the Snowflake, I'm connecting to Azure tenant ID with the location. So,
Okay.
and if you see now, if I create this, if suppose in the storage account, suppose I'm just deleting this data, I would want to see how it works also. So, okay, yeah, okay, I don't have any file, right? Now let's see. Um, so here I'm creating this. When you create this, okay, let me change something. I use storage integration. Uh, yeah, close. Okay, integration successfully created. Okay. Um, and when you describe your storage integration, my integration name, this one, right? So I'm just asking to describe. So this is
Oh,
the storage account details. Okay, right. Now, first we need to give you authentication. So see, when you describe your storage account, it is giving the consent URL. So you, if we go to this URL, it will ask you, to connect. Okay, it's taking that. Let me copy this location, copy, and suppose I'm just going separate window. Okay, so asking login instead of that. Let me try this one. Okay, let me go with the new one. It'll ask you the authentication. I want to show you that authentication. I'm logging to my Azure account again. Mm. So now it is pasting here. Verify. So now it'll ask you the authentication. I think it's taking automatically. Normally it'll ask you to enable. It'll ask you you'll get a window to enable a request for the enable. Because I have already logged in my account in my browsers, it's taking automatically.
Okay.
Normally you will get some prompt to log in and then it'll enable. So we will see different way. The thing is the first thing is the URL. If you go to the URL, it'll ask you, can you approve? You'll get approve button, approve it, then it'll fine. The only thing is you need to take this multi-tenant app name to give the permission. So if you go to this, I'm just copying this, and if you go to now we have not given any permission. Now we have not given any permission on the your bucket, your storage account container to Snowflake. Suppose now I'm going to the storage account, and if you go to the IAM access control, it will ask you the add role assignment. Now give the container level contributor
Okay.
access. So I'm in the Snowflake source data v1 in the container. I'm asking to give the permission to which user, select members. So in the Snowflake, if you see in the Snowflake side, if yeah, this is the app name. The app name is already connected now. So just give the access to this app name. So I'm just copying. You don't need the full name. You just take a few lines, a few characters, and you can search here. So if I do search, see, I got it automatically, right? So
Okay.
the same name, this one of the Snowflake something. So it's automatically created. Why? Because when we create the storage integration, I just said when you go with the link, you will get the automatically approve prompt, and then it will give the connection. But only thing is you need to give the what type of the permissions you are assigning the role. I'm assigning the role for contributor. So I'm selecting this application, select. Now, which means we are assigning the permissions to this directly. Okay, we have reviewed and added a role. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to Snowflake. Okay, the integration is ready, and you can access. Now, if you see, these are all details. We have finished now the consent URL. We have given consent and app. We give the permissions. Okay. Next, coming to the next step is after we create the storage account, the file formats and the stage, and then we will check the copy command. So as part of the file format, we can just create or replace file format, file format, database name, test database dot public schema, and store some. Suppose I'm storing file format, Azure, Azure file. Let's say something. Your own name. Type equal to CSV. Field delimiter. You can skip the header.
Okay.
Suppose I'm giving a skip header equal to suppose 0. Suppose let's say. I'm just creating the file format. Okay, it's created. And the next step is what is the next step? Stage. This is a common step, right, for every connectivity of the storage. So create or replace stage TextDB public schema. So on the same database, same schema, I'm going to create stage Azure. Because I'm just taking version 1. So I'm going to create a storage account, storage integration. I'm going to give the location. So in the stage, you have to give what is storage integration you have created. So we created this name, right? I'm just this now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm calling. And what is the URL for this stage? Nothing but your Azure URL, Azure Snowflake source, the source data. So you are giving the container name, right? And file format we have already created. So just give the location of your file format, file underscore format. Nothing but this one, right? Yeah. So actually, this is a step is required, but we require these integration and file. We can separate the first steps because this stage has a dependency for the integration and the storage integrate for the file format and the integration. So the creator or replace the stage and we given the integration. Yes, the integration we have all tested. And we given the file format. Yes, we have already created. And now finally we are executing as part of the stage. So execute this. Okay, the stage is created. Now let me check the stage. List at the rate. What is database name? Test underscore public. And what is the stage name? This one. Stage underscore. So if I do list, it has to show the file names.
Okay.
But see, I don't have any file because in the container, do we have files? No, no, right? I've deleted the one file, right? So if I ever go with the container on the source data, see, I don't have any file, right? So that's
Okay.
why when you do list on the Snowflake side, it is showing as empty. Uh, Now, if I go and upload file, data, yeah, suppose I'm just taking some sample data. Okay, if you give this data, see now automatically when you do again this list, see, I got the file.
Okay.
You got it. So
Yes.
previously it's empty. Previously it's empty because it is actually the connection is created, but in the source we don't have a data. That's why we don't have any file here. Whenever the source is updated with the new file, automatically here it's loaded. So, but this is not the table. This is a stage only. This is only the stage account. So here, what we are doing now is same way in the AWS we did. We created a stage. From the stage we loaded, right? Same way here also, what we are doing, we are going to create the stage first.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Stage and load.
Yeah. So we're going to create the stage. Yes, we create the stage and the file is ready. And now we are going to load into database. So if you know correctly on the one integration for the one cloud storage, automatically the others are same process. So
Okay. More or less, it's like AWS only. Yeah. S3.
yeah, so it's almost the same process, but there is a different way of authentication. Like here we did the current authentication and there we granted with the access key and value. So this there's different way of work. So Always, in the cloud side, if you know one cloud strongly with these integrations, mostly other clouds are same. Only way is the connectivity integration about the authentication is different. Sorry. So, yeah, we created a stage, and the next step is now we need to load the data. Now I'm going to the Snowflake side. Do we have table ready? Not yet. What is the database name? Test underscore DB. So till now, we just did the only stages. See, this is the stage we created in the Snowflake database name, and we created this file format. But we have any table? No. Okay. So now we need to create a table. Before creating a table, you don't require to test the data for the table creation. Actually, you can call from the stage itself.
Oh,
That's the advantage here. So, for example, let's say I'm going to select $1. Suppose I'm taking $2, $3, $4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. It depends upon how many columns you have. Just you can give
and the Excel sheet.
any. It depends upon the column. Suppose 15, 16, 17. I'm just showing you how we can retrieve without creating a table. Normally, what we do is we just create a table, we load the data. But before creating a table, if you want to check your schema and everything, anything, you can give some roughly the fields based on your data. For example, let me test this one first. From what is our stage? So this is our stage name. In what database? Actually, if we go here, right click and place name in the editor. Automatically, you'll get everything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm going to select this data. Let me copy this. Maybe it's not allowing to take up. Select again. Does not exist or not authorized. Let me refresh. What is database name? SDB public. Yeah. Let me list again. Yeah, we got the list. So it means it's working. But why it's not showing test DB public? Okay, let me just take only the stage. We granted the access and got the data. Why this is not here? We can start. Does not exist or not authorized. HTTP account admin only. Stage Azure one. Account admin. Microsoft Azure. External stage. So when we calling this stage Azure y1, okay, let me try first copy and then we'll see. Suppose now we'll just check if there is anything missing. We create a storage account and we choose break block hash data. Fine. Describe. If we describe this, do we have an issue? No. Let me just. Okay, that's fine. So we created. Let me put the skip header one first record. Nothing but netSDB public. We have the file format underscore Azure file. Okay. File format underscore Azure file and on the storage like on Azure storage integration new. Okay. On the URL. So we are taking this good. Yeah, I didn't see any issue. Maybe it's because of authentication issue stage. Does not exist or just copy public only. That's it. So this user, let me check again this application ID. Yes, user, okay. We go with the described storage integration. You can see here. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to create the table. Let's create the table and then test it. Load the data and test it.
Oh,
Normally, when you execute this one, it will show you the directly the data. Stage account, stage Azure V1 does not exist or not authorized. I just refresh. Hmm. Let me do with this database, for example. Why we have this structure? Database for S3. Anyway, we are not using public table stages. Yeah, generally. I think this is the problem with the data. Let me check data once. Database. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to create the table and then we will see how we can access it. So here we can query the file directly from the data. Okay, I think because we created the storage like that. Okay, let me try with at the rate because the storage table is not created state, right? I think that is a mistake, right? When you call directly, it will not
Okay.
work. When you do at the rate, means the location. See,
Okay.
now
Yeah.
it's working. So I missed at the rate. I tried directly because this is not table, this is stage. So you need to give at the rate. So if I put the skip header 0, is nothing but removing the headers. But when you put the 0, now it will display first record as a record. But normally, see, now I can see the schema. Um, but this schema, we can make a table. Let me just make it as I'm skipping header. As I said, header is always static. We can't use the automatic creation. So I put the 1, which means it will ignore the schema.
Okay.
Uh, Actually, let me put the 0 and copy the schema, and then I can put later 1. So I put the 0 now again, and I'll execute the query. I'll take this schema, course, and then now I'll go back and I'll put the 1. Because when you load the data, you don't require the schema to load the data because you're creating a table before or after, but you are
Definitely.
defining the schema static. So now if I go run again, just to make sure that we are not taking the schema, yeah, not taking schema. Now I can create a table. Create table. I can make create or replace table. Let me call input data TBL. So I'm taking this one country. Let me take my own names. Country name. Suppose varchar.
Okay.
So I'm just taking regional and taking indicator. Oh, I think I missed it. It looks like it's on field.
But I think it is.
Or let me call X. Let me call ABCDA. Suppose you don't need to know understand some. So I can call C,
Okay.
D, E, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Okay, let me take another 4. Okay, so I can do, actually I can put the flow, I can put the values for number, for number, it's all numbers, right?
Yeah.
I can take
Like,
all these numbers. So instead of being from the 3, I can take, suppose, uh, start from the 3. Let me
my
take number, because I'm just taking values with the decimals format. Okay, so creating this table with this format, and I can just load. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to create a table. Okay, table created. Don't require this anyway. So now where is our data? Copy. I'm copying to, because now data is ready in the stage, and we tested by selecting with the data sampling. I can see means data is ready in the stage. Now this is the time to load the data. We created a table. The next step is copying into your table name, input data table, and where you're copying from uh, this one, right? From my stage. From my stage. So I'm copying into this table from this stage. So run. So we got the issue is row 1, column 7. Let me check. Is it more characters? Maybe some data type issue. It says 7. Yeah, it's 5 character. Okay. Hmm.
God.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Suppose I'm taking 5. Uh, and do we have anything on the 9? Yeah, I think it should be fine. And remaining more. Anyway, it's a sample data, so I'm just taking. So now it's already create or replace. So when you run again, it will replace the schema. And I'm running now copy into. So this time we got the issue is again on the 9th column. Uh, uh,
Number
yeah. Okay, now the data is copied. Yes, one fortunate rows are loaded, and now when you do select a star from not this one, now the table name. So this is the table name. When you select your data, you will get the data. See? So we just get the ABCD columns, but actually we give the column names and everything. So by this way, we can create and we can load our data into this Snowflake. So as part of the process, we created the storage integration, file format, staging, and we copied the data from ADLS to the database. So normally, if you want to automate this, the schedule process, you can use the in between. There is a ADF as a ETL you can use from the use side. If not, on the Snowflake side, we can use Snowpipe for creating the uh, continuous ingestion process.
Snowflake. Okay.
Yeah, we will see that in the next sessions again, how we can do with the Snowpipes also. Like for this is the external storage account connectivity, which means it will work when you run this copy into command anytime. We can load the data and then we can just check if there is anything. For example, if suppose if I go to the source file and if I delete this, if I delete now when you when you run copy when you run the copy into actually not copy into when you run the stage account, see empty
Okay. Okay.
because you already copied the first version that are loaded. If suppose if I do the copy into this one, I don't have any files to process. So if suppose there is a requirement, there is a one file is coming continuously on the storage account every day, some overwriting or something. What you can do is on the Snowflake side, the stage is capturing whenever we run the command. So if you observe, all the commands are in the Snowflake, right? So
Yes.
you can create task. You can create the task in the Snowflake, or you can create stored procedure, or um, you can create the task, or you can create stored procedure, or you can create the Snowpipe connectivity for this process. So this way also we can run,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and then you can use it. So I'll show you this anyway because we have not covered this in the Snowflake. We're going to cover in the next sessions how we create the tasks, how we create stored procedure. That time you can see. What I mean is whatever you see the commands, all these commands we can automate within the Snowflake itself using the tasks and the stored procedures. Using a scheduler, we can use it in the means these are all Snowflake jobs, right? Nothing but whatever you're writing in the Snowflake commands, it's all like a Snowflake jobs. So you can automate this. For example, so this one is select start from this stage. You see now it's empty.
Yes.
And when you see the copy into, it's not copying anything. So it means when you execute this command, it is actually working. It taking from the source automatically. But how we can execute this every time? So that need to schedule by using the tasks in Snowflake. We can define the tasks and you can give the time from 1 minute to any time. Start from 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 1 hour. Um, you can allocate your tasks. So uh, by this way you can access. Right now the stage is empty. For example, if I upload again, suppose I'm uploading the files again, suppose, okay, upload. I upload the file, okay, and now on the Snowflake side, I'm executing. See, I got data because now the connectivity. So the connectivity is always live. That's important. But these tasks, the Snowflake tasks, are not live. You need to create a scheduler or create the task or create the um, Snowflake connectivity to automate within the Snowflake itself. Nothing but. Suppose if I do the copy into now it's 149, right? Suppose if I do copy into again, what will happen? It will be copy again. So let me just load again. Yeah, because that file is all loaded. If I make a version 2, then it will capture with the new changes. So now it's 149. And when you do this copy into with the same version is there, so you can't loading the process because you're checking the files, not the um, not the data inside. For example, let me upload a file again. Suppose with the new version. Uh, Let me changing. Suppose renaming. Suppose 22. Upload. Upload. Now I got new file, right? So
Yes.
if I go with the page account, now it's 298 records because two files. And remember, the schema always has to be same. If
Yes.
not,
Okay.
uh, if not, you'll get the schema issues. Obviously, we will follow the same schema because the container is, when you say container, it belongs to the same related data. If it's something different, right? You can make a new containers. So now we have 298 records. Now, if you copy, the remaining 149 will go. Now you see 149 records are loaded. See, 149 records are loaded. When you do select star from the table, you see total 298. 298. So this is working what we as expected actually. But who is going to execute these commands every time? We need to automate this process, right? So by using the tasks and scheduler, we can automate. That we'll see in the next sections in the Snowflake how we can automate these jobs. Yeah.
So
So
task
I'll
and
share this.
scheduler means use any airflows
No, 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 no. Within a Snowflake,
within a Snowflake.
um, yeah, within a Snowflake, we can create the tasks.
Okay.
If suppose If suppose, because this is actually Azure Snowflake connection is already created. We don't require any in-between tools to automate. Within a Snowflake, I need to, okay, where this job is the Snowflake job because I'm in Snowflake now. This is Snowflake job. So if I keep on this execute, then the new files will load. This is the one requirement. If suppose there's other requirement, okay, there is a requirement, I want load data from not using this storage integration. I want to go with the using Airflow. I want to load, for example, I'm taking Oracle database. I want to load to Snowflake using Airflow. Yes, we can do it. So that is also we can do it. But here I'm talking about the storage integration. Storage integrations are direct integrations from Azure, AWS, Google directly. If there is some database, I think we discussed, right? Using Airflow, we discussed about loading from, we discussed from the SQLite to
Yes. Yeah.
Snowflake, right? Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's true. So that's a different way because the database connectivity and Airflow is one of the ETL job to move your data from source to target. And this is different. This is storage to storage. We are loading. So there are different ways of connectivities. We can use it. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah. So I'll share this once we can practice this connectivity, and
Okay.
in the next session we will see how we can automate these jobs within the Snowflake itself.
Oh.